Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. The game is over, basically because I'm bored playing it. And I can hear some heads nodding in the background going, yeah, we agree with that too. But it was done for me and you. It wasn't just done for me. As I said, I have no intentions of doing any major changes. Some minor tweaks which I'll explain and why. And you can choose to follow suit or not. It's entirely up to you. It's your own channel. It should always be your own channel. And first of all, let's get one thing clear. The way I am in my videos is not going to change. I don't care what YouTube thinks about my channel. I'm me. I have a chat now and again. Sometimes I show pretty blooms. Sometimes I tear plants apart and put them back together again. And sometimes I go out and about and have a look at our wildlife. And sometimes I look at my bonsai. But mostly it's about my orchids and my grow room. It's not going to change. Don't worry. Some people getting concerned here. But first of all, let's have a look at this Vanda. Oh. So we've got, the light's not that good, but this didn't come over very well out in the kitchen, but hopefully that's focusing. Let's get some light behind it, that's better. Right, if you look at the stem where the woody bits have come off, or where most of them have come off, there are nubbins there. You know, they've probably always been sat there blocked in behind rock hard woody sheaths. Now they're free. And they're free, hopefully, to grow. And I don't believe they're going to be kikis. I believe they're probably going to be roots. And they're far more likely to be roots now they can see the light of day. And it's been soaking all night long. It's still not properly hydrated. And I don't think it will be. If it can survive long enough to grow some new roots, I can do something with it. But that's where I am at the moment. There are bumps on that stem, definitely. There are bumps there. All that remains now is for me to get this in some sort of little basket so that I've got something to attach some wires to so that I can hang it back up. Because without the mount, that's it now. The only way it can hang up is for me to stand here and flipping hold it, which isn't going to happen. Strictly speaking, for the plant's sake, I should take those blooms off. Now, I'm not taking them off, but what I will do is that the instant that I start seeing these blooms fading, I will take the spikes off, even if there are some good ones left. So the blooms are there for as long as they're good, and then as soon as they start to fade, they can come off, and then the plant doesn't need to worry about supporting those. And it can get on doing its thing. At some point down the line, if it does push out some roots on the, you know, just below the leaves, I will probably cut the base of the plant off and see what happens with the kiki. You know, I can cut the stem just above the kiki. There's enough roots below that area of the plant to feed that kiki and hydrate it, and maybe it will grow on and I get a second plant out of it. Strictly speaking, I don't want two of these. One's hard enough work at the moment. Anyway, that's where I am with the Vanda. Now let's get back to this game I've been playing. What it was I started watching a few videos out of curiosity about how the YouTube algorithm works. And I was certainly aware in the past that you could manipulate figures. You could actually make your channel look a lot better than it truly was by fiddling the figures. And once YouTube twigged that, it made an algorithm so complex that quite honestly you can't fiddle figures. You can't. So it's not even worth trying. And I'm sure none of us do. You know, we're happy with the views we get. We're happy with our regulars who come and make comments and start little conversations, which for me is what it's all about, quite honestly. I don't care how many views I get, as long as I get some comments and have a chat with some people. That's what I like. And I'm sure most of you would agree. Yeah? Yeah, you probably do. That's why you put the video up there. It's not for fame and fortune. It's because it's part of your hobby. And you like to show what you've been up to. And you like to ask questions and get people to put their ideas forward. That's all what the comments are about. And for me, that's far more important. You know, if I got 20 views and 20 comments, I'd be happy. Yeah? If I get 2,000 views and 20 comments, it's the 20 comments that I want. Blow the views. I don't really care. As long as people come and watch and say their opinions, disagree when they feel they ought to. And don't forget, if somebody disagrees with what you've said, there's a possibility to learn something, because they may know something you don't. And again, learning is part of what it's all about. Anyway, this YouTube game. YouTube is interested in changes, not continuity. If you get an average number of views, an average number of likes, likes equals likes minus dislikes, by the way. None of us want a dislike, but you're going to get them now and again. That's life. Playing this game's got me a few. I'll live with that, because this is a temporary thing, don't worry. But anyway, what YouTube looks for is what it sees as spikes. It looks for sudden changes. So if you average, say, 200 views, 250 views, and you suddenly get 1,000, YouTube's little ears prick up and think, hello, somebody's on the up. And remember, its primary goal is to make money, and the way it makes money is to get adverts under your nose. Yeah? Now, a lot of those are not achieved directly from your video. They're actually achieved by you looking down the right hand side and seeing something else of interest. Yeah? So you might be watching a video on dendrobium care, happily watching away, and down the right hand side might be some others on the same subject. That's YouTube's job. Is to get you to watch more videos, because some of those might be monetized channels, whereby going there, some people are going to make some money, you know. So, and if people can make money out of YouTube, that's fine, but I'm really concerned about the way YouTube makes its money. So it looks for spikes. It looks for a sudden dramatic change in things on the up. Now that's point one. That just happens. That's very difficult to predict. But let me say one thing. My spikes are when the words new orchid, unboxing or haul are in the title. Boy, does that generate some views and some interest. And forget the view value, let's just say it generates interest. People are interested in the new stuff you get. So if you get some new stuff, do a video. We love it. I love watching what people have got. And others obviously like watching mine. I'll warn you now, the unboxing videos are virtually zero for some foreseeable time on my channel, simply because I'm not buying orchids at the moment. It'll be a very rare occasion. But this is where YouTube's start point is. It's from a spike. And that spike generates YouTube's interest. But it's not the spike on its own that makes YouTube stay interested in you. It's what happens next, which is why I've said, you know, to play this little game involves some time. Now, on my little channel, with my number of subscribers and everything, I knew this was going to be difficult to even achieve, let alone try and prove anything. But the idea is that once you generate some interest and YouTube takes some notice of you, you need to maintain that interest. So it's not the video that caused the spike, because that could be a complete surprise to yourself. You know, you think, cool, blimey, that one took off a bit. But it's what you do next. And the worst thing you can do from YouTube's point of view is sink back into the doldrums. So the idea is to maintain the interest. And in our little world of orchid videos, that's almost impossible to predict. It's not worth playing about. It really isn't. But the other thing that YouTube really is interested in, which you can do and really takes no extra effort, is keep your titles right. Have you noticed the last couple I did? Problem Vanda. No. Problem Vanda Orchid. The word orchid is a trigger search word. You know, people go into YouTube and watch a music video and think, oh, let's have a look and see what's going on in the orchid world. So they'll put a search into YouTube. Orchids, orchid care, you know, dendrobium care. So these sort of trigger words, if they're in your title, you can get noticed. And people will come and have a look at your video and perhaps leave some comments. Yeah? So that makes sense to me, which is why I've changed my ending, partly. It's only part of the reason, mind. The other thing that YouTube is very interested in is what it calls session starts and session ends. These are YouTube sessions. What you're watching is irrelevant. It doesn't care. But once somebody starts watching a YouTube video, it's very interested in how long you stay on YouTube. Hence, on my end channel, I've got a link to perhaps another video that you might watch. I'll say again, watching is not compulsory. Do those links get clicked on? Well, there's ways of looking at your analytics to find out, which is why the game had to go along over a period of time. And it sort of works. You know, people have gone back and had a look at videos that they might never have seen. You know, so there's an element there. You can also add a link to another channel, which I've also tried. And I do like to help up-and-coming channels, especially if they're saying some good stuff. So that's another way to help others, so that we all join together. It's a community. And for me, that's why I'm in it. I like it, you know. But, change my end screen, I now have links. Also, YouTube looks at your rate of change in your subscribers. Yeah? It's not the number, it's the rate of change. You know, so when you first start, your rate of change will be slow. Everybody's is. Everybody got to start somewhere. And if you don't start, then you don't play the game. But obviously, we'd like to get more people watching our videos because it generates more comments and more interest and keeps our interest going. So I can see the point with that bit. But this session end and session start is quite important. And the worst thing you can do in YouTube's eyes is be the video where somebody leaves YouTube. That's called a session end. And they really don't like those videos. They really don't like those videos because they've just lost a potential customer. Yeah, so they don't like the video that ends the session. Now, occasionally I go on and I start watching some videos and I might get halfway through one and I think, oh, actually, I must get on with this, and I'll end my session. That's not that video's fault, but YouTube will blame the video for it. So try not to be the video where everybody bails out and runs off to Facebook or something. You know, or goes out and does some shopping or something like that. These things can't really be avoided, but what they like is continuity of session. So by linking into some other of your vids or some other vids that you've watched that are really interesting to you and you think others might be interested, I like that idea. That's why I've changed my end. I'm not going to be changing much else apart from thinking about search words. And the other advice with search words is make sure your title of your video has got some nice keywords in it. Now, ours is an orchid community, so the word orchid ought to be in there. And sometimes you put the title in and you think, well, if I put the word orchid in there, isn't it being a bit flippin' obvious? Like when I was talking about my problem Vanda. We all know a Vanda's an orchid, but some others might not. Yeah? So, keywords like a dendrobium genus, or the word orchid, or dendrobium orchids, double keyword there. You know, somebody comes in and I've got a problem with my dendrobium. I'll search YouTube for dendrobium problems. Well, the word dendrobium's in the search. So all the videos with dendrobium in the title will get a chance to be viewed. You know, some people might put orchid care. You know, so if you've got both of those keywords in your title, your video comes up the list a bit. And you never know, you might get somebody come in that hasn't seen your channel before and they might think, oh, I like this, I'll subscribe. And also adding that subscribe link in the end title just saves work. I know not everybody's computer savvy. I wasn't once, and sometimes I wish I still wasn't. But that is something that is so simple to do. And the other thing is, make sure that your title of your video in some shape or form appears in your description as well, because YouTube uses both when it's doing a search. Yeah? So even if you don't want to mess with your video title, because you don't think it would read nicely or something like that, at least get those keywords in your description. And the nearer the top of the description they are, the better. So that's all I'm messing with. I will have a think about my titles instead of just typing away whatever random few words come into my head. It's 10 seconds thought. Yeah? And it might bring me somebody to my channel that might not have found me otherwise. The other thing is consistency, which is why I don't like YouTube messing about with my thumbnails, because I like my black and orange banner at the front of my videos, so that down that right hand column, goes back to that bit again, mine stand out. It's the whole reason I chose that black and orange. They're striking colours. So that's not changing, I can assure you. That's me. That's what my videos look like. And even though I now have to fiddle around because YouTube's messing about, I'm prepared to do that fiddling around because that's what I like my startup to look like. What music you choose, irrelevant. It doesn't matter. YouTube's not interested in that. But what it is interested in is if you keep getting copyright strikes. It really doesn't like that. There's a lot of music you can get hold of that's classed as copyrighted. I've used some. And basically, unless it's a serious infringement, the only thing that might happen is the person that owns the copyright might put an ad on your vid. The sort of people that are involved in the music business are often don't give a monkeys about orchid videos. So I've taken a risk on a couple of occasions, but there's plenty of free music out there. If you want to add some music to a video, you know, sometimes music instead of words is actually quite relaxing and quite nice. You know, a lot of my videos around shows and things like that, apart from all that hubbub and background noise and people poking you in the back and saying hello when you're filming and all that sort of stuff, it's quite nice to just have a piece of music playing. There's plenty of free stuff out there, you know, it's easy to find. You don't have to get involved with copyright stuff. So that's really it. The changes on my vids are, well, I've already done what I'm doing, quite honestly. I've changed my ending so that I can link to other videos and other channels on occasions where I think somebody's saying some good stuff, and the ability to subscribe directly from inside the video without having to go and do it as a separate event. Yeah, you're saving somebody a bit of trouble. So I agree with those bits, and I agree with thinking about my titles and making sure some key search words are in my title and my description. That's it. That's all I'm changing. Not mucking about. And the points I've proven are that you can get continuity of session direct from a video, and you know it can work, and you can use those links on your end screens. Just bear in mind, if you're going to play with an end screen, that YouTube allows you to put those little things in from your Creator Studio, but they go in on the last 20 seconds of your video, which might be overwriting your best blinking clip. You know, you've just got right at the end of the video and you've got your blooms on view of your bestest video, of your bestest orchid, and then you go and put some other people's bits and pieces over the top of them. So that's why I did that separate banner at the end. So it's a nondescript piece of video. It's got nothing to do with the content of the video. It's just a bland background to allow those little links to go on. Okay, so and some people have said the music's too loud, so I didn't do it straight away, but I've actually softened the music on that end bit so that you know, some people have said your voice is not clear, we can't hear what you're saying. Some have said it sounds a bit commercial. Well, Yeah, it is, I suppose. But it's for a purpose. It allows me to link in other people in the community and join us together, as well as possibly getting somebody to go and have a look at one of my other videos. So I see the point in that. That's it. That's all I'm changing. That's all the game was about, was seeing if you could utilise a spike. But to do that, you have to get one in the first place, and they're not predictable apart from using the word new orchid, orchid haul, or unboxing. I guarantee if you put that in your heading, people will flock. Everybody loves to see the new stuff. So anyway, I've got a sort of watering day today. I don't know what else I'll be filming. Maybe nothing. But yeah, that's it. Game over. I've done what I wanted to do. I've proved very little, quite honestly, but it's given me a few tips that are easy to take on board, and that's all I'm doing. That's it. Game over. See you again. Whoops, I forgot a bit. You know me, I always forget a bit. Sometimes what I forget becomes a different video, but no, not today. There are half a dozen or so YouTubers that are what I call the high up ones. They've been around quite a while. They've got amazing numbers of subscribers and followers, rightly so. I'm not knocking it. Now, when you're in that category, as far as I'm concerned, not to monetize your video would be a little bit silly, because it doesn't cost you anything. You may annoy the odd person, because not a lot of us like these ads popping up. The worst offenders are the ad that pops up right in the middle of your flipping video. Really don't like that, But, you can often skip past them. The ones at the start, they've often got a countdown and you can skip past them. And if you can't skip past them, they're going to be short anyway, 5 seconds. Can you spare 5 seconds to get on and watch the rest of the video, which you wanted to watch in the first place? I think so. So those that monetize, don't think I'm knocking it, because I'm not. I don't think it's something I'll ever do, even if I, get up in the realms of those heights. But, for me, that's not why I'm here. But if you get to that sort of status within the YouTube community, our orchid community, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't do it. It's earning pocket money, but I don't know how much it earns, and those that do it are very reluctant to tell you. But I would imagine the likes of, well, we all know who the top two are, it's Brad and Danny. I would imagine they get a reasonable income from their videos and from their channel. Now that's fine. They're in a position to be able to do it. But certainly at the lower end, the likes of most of us that have been around, somewhere between a couple of months and a year, say, we've got our regular followers and everything like that, and we thoroughly enjoy what we do. To monetize at that level, the amount you're going to get isn't going to buy you a cup of coffee in Costa, quite honestly. And you might end up annoying a few people. And when you haven't got many people, certainly at the start, annoying a few is probably not the best of ideas. But at some point, you might want to consider just joining that YouTube club and monetize your videos. And you may have to accept a few subscriber losses if you do so. But when you've got loads and loads and loads and loads, well, a few going missing isn't going to make a lot of difference, is it? So I see the point. It's probably not something I'm ever going to do. That's if I ever get up to those glorious heights and join the big six, as I call them. But I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's not necessarily for me. And, I would think twice about it when you're starting out, because what you're going to get is not worth the effort, quite honestly. And when you haven't got that many subscribers, losing a few, it's a big deal. Nobody likes to lose a subscriber. But this is the sort of semi-real world in YouTube. You upset enough people and they'll walk and they won't come back. They'll go somewhere else. So, let's be a happy community and all stick together and all help each other. And if what I've said in this video helps anybody and helps their channel grow from nothing to something, then that's all I wanted to do. As I said, I've taken on board a few bits and pieces, no more. I've done what I'm going to do, and I've passed out some advice that I think might be useful, or not. It's up to you. It's your channel. That really is the bottom line. It's your channel. Let's all try and be us and just do what we do, and you know, in time you'll grow. It just happens naturally without putting any extra effort in, quite honestly. So there we go. See you next time. Thanks for visiting my channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, there are some others you could watch below. You can just click on the thumbnails. If you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. You can use the link below. I post on most days, so hope to see you again soon. Thanks for stopping by.